Welcome back. Joining me now in the Daytime Buffalo studio is Catherine Miles Kanya, CEO, and Ava Thomas, of Operations Director of the Family Justice Center of Erie County. Hi, ladies. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Well, why don't you start off by telling us about the Family Justice Center and what you guys do there?
Yeah, so we help anybody who is in an unsafe or abusive relationship or familial relationship, intimate partnership, anyone who is seeking services to be safe.
Obviously, the month of October, we brought you in because we recognize that it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and you guys do so much work throughout our community to make people feel safe. So tell me more about the mission behind the FJC.
I think there's something to say about the mission, but the stats really should be mentioned, is that 1 in 3 teens, 1 in 4 women, and 1 in 7 men will experience domestic violence. So that is something that is such an unacceptable number for us, but it really highlights how urgent and serious domestic violence is in our area and certainly around the country.
Tell us who the right person is that should reach out to you to be able to get services and help from you.
Anyone that feels unsafe. So we use the term domestic violence, we use the term abuse, but someone who's experiencing that, that's not going to resonate with them. And so we'll ask someone, do you ever feel unsafe physically, emotionally in your relationship? And that generally is when someone will be able to open up. Well, actually this and this is happening and I'm unsure if this is actually abuse.
Right.
And so, you know, we really just encourage, if you have to pause for anything, trust that enough. We want to link with someone as early on as possible.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people don't necessarily understand what's happening to them and what it means. And we also, I know when I talked to you, Ava, when I came to do a tour, that we talked about there's different types, right? There's like people financially abusing their partner to lock them in that way and making them feel like there's no way out.
Yes.
So what are some scenarios in which someone should stop and think, is this safe?
If you are having to hide parts of yourself with your partner, so if you are taking phone calls away from them or hiding any phone calls or texts, not for any reason like cheating, but because you know that they might get upset that this individual is contacting you. If you have to be in constant communication with your partner, and that sometimes can be a little muddled, especially with like the teen age group, because we're all in constant communication with texting and email. But if your phone, I was used this scenario, if your phone were to die and you couldn't charge it and it was off for an hour, when you turn it back on, what type of messages are you going to have? What type of voicemails are you going to have? And so really, you know, anything that just, again, that unsafe piece, that uncomfortable feeling, that's when you would want to talk to us.
And what would you say to someone who was nervous about taking the first steps to come in contact with you guys?
Yeah, and that's completely understandable, but you get to link with us whatever way feels safest and most comfortable. So you can come in person, you can call and speak to someone over the phone, by email. You can also remain completely anonymous. You get to decide how much or how little you tell us about what's happening. The goal is to link with an advocate, get the information that you deserve, and you can make an informed decision.
And what are some of the ways that you help people with this process? I think we talked about this last time, but how people leave looks differently because some people, it's really unsafe to even start thinking about it.
Absolutely. The most dangerous time for someone in an abusive relationship is when they are leaving or have just recently left. It is such an incredibly dangerous time, and that's why it's really important to link with one of our advocates, to have a safety plan, to get an order of protection if that's needed, to have linkage with community resources, because again, it's the most dangerous time.
You know, domestic violence is rooted in power and control. So imagine if you're an abuser and the person that you're victimizing decides and makes that brave and bold choice to be able to leave the relationship. No more power, no more control. It's slipping through their fingers. That's why it's the most dangerous time.
Yes.
And so, you know, this is where we're really seeing an escalation in violence as well, is in that moment when someone takes the risk to leave.
Absolutely. And also, you guys have a lot of steps right there in your center to make sure it's kind of like a one-stop shop. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, you don't have to go here, there, and everywhere to get the services that you need and deserve. Do everything right under one roof or over the phone. We also have a lot of things that we can do to empower someone. So it takes 7 to 9 attempts to safely leave a relationship minimum, again, because of what we just spoke about. It's the most dangerous time. But you don't have to decide on an actual service we provide, but you can also obtain safety items from us, workbooks,
Legal help, right?
legal
Yes.
help, legal assistance. So really, we can meet someone where they're at and just fully support them in that moment.
You know, so often victims of domestic violence have to encounter a very fragmented, broken system in order to be able to take those first steps in order to leave their abuser. We're here at the Family Justice Center, exactly what Ava said. It's a one-stop shop. It's all under one roof. We like to say we'll do the heavy lifting because we have all of the access to the tools to better empower and support someone who's seeking those services. We can't emphasize that enough, that fragmented, broken system is where things get really lost. But when they come to us, because it's all cohesive and a holistic way of providing support, they're able to get those needs met in a very streamlined, efficient, supportive, safe way.
Thank you, ladies, so much for coming in and sharing what you do for our Western New York community. And viewers, if you're interested in learning more about what they have to offer, or if you're feeling unsafe, just head over to their website at fjcsafe.com. All the information you need is there. Thanks again for coming in, ladies.
Great.
course.
Thank you.